Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Ed, I'm here with Demetrius, Ray, and a very special guest, Mr. Hino from Level 5 is here with us today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the development and some of the thoughts that went into a couple games here that Level 5 has coming out, LBX and Yokai Watch.
Yep.
And so before we jump in, we're going to do LBX first?
Yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
let's go ahead and Demetrius is going to help us out with that.
So if you may have seen this earlier today, actually, I have we played a little bit of LBX earlier. So this is what I have now is a little bit more of a played up file. And we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the customization options. But first, since we have the opportunity of having Mr. Hino here, I thought we'd get a little explanation and background on the world of LBX and what is an LBX and how it kind of came about.
LBX の世界観の経歴というかどういった形でこういう世界が作られたのかについてお話しいただければと思います。
そうですね。もともとやっぱりロボットものを作りたいなと思っていて、でそのロボットもの自体はやっぱりたくさん世の中にあるんですけど、子どもたちにとってリアルなロボットものっていうのを作りたかったので、やっぱりこの等身大のもう本当にこうその手に取れるロボットにしてそれを本当にプラモデルとして発売してでその本当にあるリアリズムみたいなものを、作るそういう新しいロボットの、作品を作ろうと思いました。
So what I really wanted to make with LBX is that well, you know, when you think of robots, it's kind of surreal at times, but we really wanted to bring the realism into the people who play these games, make it feel like it's real. So instead of going for the huge giant-sized robot, we looked at a real-sized robot that would fit on the palm of your hand, and we also made plastic models out of it, and really tried to bring the realism into the game itself.
It can fit into the palm of your hand, literally.
So speaking of like the customization, I'm curious. There's so many different parts and options, and how was that in developing? Was there any was it really tough? Maybe a little insight on that.
カスタマイズのいろんな種類があるんですけど、カスタマイズの種類がすごく多くて少し開発に関して難しかったと思うんですが、カスタマイズに関して少しお話しいただけますでしょうか。
そうですね。パーツの種類が4000種類あって、やっぱその一つ一つのパーツにやっぱり個性がつけられているので、もう自分好みのLBX を作って。遊べるというところがこのゲームの最大の魅力だと思ってまして、その物語を進めながらその自分好みの、自分独自のその LBX を作ってその強い LBX と戦うっていうのが、このゲームの面白さです。
So yeah, as you can see, there's actually about over 4,000 parts to customize.
Wow.
So there's a lot.
That is a lot.
But each and every one of these parts has a unique characteristic or almost a personality to it. So we really wanted to provide players with all of the options to really create their very own unique LBX. And once you create that, you can challenge difficult foes, challenge your friends to be able to really feel that your creation has come to life and are battling with the other people.
Wow, that's a lot of in-depth customization options. That's awesome.
Indeed. All right.
So walk us through what you're doing here, Demetrius?
Yeah. So what everyone's seeing here is I started out with an LBX that was a very heavy one. It's called a Deku. Its speed rating was really low. It was an E. So what I went through is in creating kind of a alternate. So I took. Oops. Let me go back. So I kept most of the Deku parts, but I took out the chest and put in a Destroyer LBX chest piece and the legs. This already increased the speed by a lot. And then I can go in. Oops, let me put that back on. I press the Y button and I can reinforce, normal, and lighten. So this lowers the weight and makes the speed go up much faster. So it's definitely the way that you want to go. So that now I can go much faster.
強さだけじゃなくて重さとかいろんな要素があるので、見た目とか強さとかあと重さとかその3つの点を考慮して作っていかないといけないですね。
So each of these parts have, like I mentioned, a different characteristics. So it's not only the looks that you're customizing, but it's like, as you mentioned, the weight, the special moves that you can use, as well as the looks. So there's three main things that you can customize and make your own LBX.
Yes, correct.
Awesome.
And one of the reasons too I also changed my chest and my legs was because I wanted to make sure that not only am I moving faster, but I'm also increasing my defense against one of my most biggest weaknesses, which was smash. So I
Okay.
balanced it out and made sure I wasn't able to get attacked.
Okay.
All right, let me make sure. Just these. Okay, I'm going to.
Gotcha. So as Demetrius gets
this real quick.
specced up here, I think it's interesting. I wonder if Mr. Hino could speak to the sort of. There's two really interesting elements story-wise for me. One is the notion that these battles are taking place in the sort of cardboard arena, and how that came about in terms of the story and why that came about in this world of LBX, why that was necessary.
この LBX のストーリーに関してなんですが、このバトルというのはすべて段ボール箱みたいので起こるバトルなんですが、それについて少しお話しいただけます。どういった形でそのゲームの世界の中で段ボールが作られたのかというような。
そうですね。この作品自体はジオラマというようなその戦闘の舞台を使ってやるっていうのを最初に発想したんですけども、ストーリーがいわゆるこうただ子どもたちが戦うだけじゃなくて24のようにこう世界の危機が来て、その世界の危機を子どもたちが救うというところにもあるので、最初はこの段ボールのジオラマの中だけで、戦うんですけども、その先の物語になるとその段ボールの外のリアルな世界の中で戦うというシーンも出てきます。
So actually, like you mentioned, a lot of the battles happen within this cardboard box. It's like almost like a diorama, but the story expands actually beyond that because soon we wanted to make the game sort of like 24, where every time there's like a world-ending apocalyptic crisis, and these kids are supposed to solve that, and so the initial battles happen within the confines of the cardboard box, but as the story progresses, as what's at stake becomes larger and larger, it goes beyond that and goes out into the real world.
Very cool.
Oh no.
Oh, Demetrius. No. Oh, we barely knew you, Demetrius.
I got greedy. I got too greedy.
Fans, I need to toughen up, he says.
That's
All right,
for
so
sure.
tell us what happened there. What happened there? Are you going to go back to the drawing
Yeah.
board on this?
No, so what I did there was everything was going great, but I wasn't paying attention to my health bar. I should have actually healed in that regard. So I'll go ahead and do it again.
So we can just pin this squarely on you.
Yep.
The failure. Okay, just making sure.
I'm still learning this game. It's more than just customizing. You
Okay.
have to make sure you're on point as well. All right, let's do this again. Now, one thing I wasn't able to overhear was, can we discuss maybe the difference between creating the characters, like creating the bad guys and the good guys, and was there any challenges in that?
あと先ほどの話にちょっとつながるんですが、このゲームの中での、いいやつ悪いやつを作ることに関して少し難しいところとかあったのでしょうか。それについてお話しいただけますか。
はい。物語上ではやっぱり子どもたちが悪と戦うっていうのにしたいと思ってるんですけども、やっぱりこの作品って世界を子どもたちが救わなきゃいけないっていう壮大な設定があるので、ちょっと複雑な部分もあるんですけど、物語上でもやっぱりそれを明確に一つ一つのバトルがこの戦いに勝つと一体何が起きるのか、この戦いに勝つことで何が得られるのかみたいなことを一つ一つの戦いに設定してあって、この戦いに勝ちたいと思う気持ちを煽るような作りになってます。
So obviously, as the game progresses, there's a lot of big decisions that are left to children to solve, like saving the world. The kids are supposed to do this. So there's a lot of complex plot twists and motivations involved with this game. But what we really focused on was try to make sure that every single major battle has a very clear focus. What's at stake? What happens when you lose? What happens when you win? We really tried to make that very clear so that for the player, they know what they're getting into and they know what the impact that this battle has on not only the story of the game, but the world in the game.
The consequences within the game itself.
やっぱバトルで何を失われるのか何を得られるのかが明確になっているということですね。
はい。
That's correct.
Excellent, excellent. And what I'm just doing here, I just wanted to show the viewers at home that that there is more than just one area. There is actually a giant map to this game, and you can go to multiple areas to kind of investigate different situations.
ゲームではすごい壮大な世界になってるんで、いろい
You
ろ
have city station, the mall, riverside shops, river area. There's even more after that, but I don't want to kind of spoil it for anybody
Sure,
else.
sure. Yeah, one of the things I really like about this game is that the battles themselves, the movement is really fluid, and it's just really fun to be able to go ahead, customize yourself, spec yourself out the way you want, your weapons, your armor, your own style, and be able to go in because. I mean, there's melee attacks, there's different missile attacks, there's all these different ways to battle, and it's a very fluid interaction with the enemies. It's really
自
nice.
分がこのゲームをやってみて気づいたのが戦闘とかすごい滑らかになっていて、例えば槍とか剣とかいろんな武器とか戦闘方法があるんですが、全てがすごく滑らかになっててすごいプレイしやすいようになっていますね。
Excellent.
Very
Do we
cool.
want to move on to yours?
Yeah, I think let's go ahead and move into a little yokai if that's
じゃあ
cool.
それでは
Yeah.
妖怪に移りたいと思います。
All right, awesome.
Make
So
sure about that.
we'll switch on over here. So for the people who may or may not have gotten saw our segment yesterday on yokai, I was wondering if Mr. Hino could maybe just explain what Yokai Watch means, what a yokai is, as if someone were hearing it for the first time.
ちょっと準備をしている間の日野さんに妖怪ウォッチとは何なのか、妖怪とは何なのかについて少しお話しいただけますか。
はい妖怪ウォッチっていうまず妖怪ウォッチというのを説明するためにはまず妖怪というのは何かということを語りたいんですけど、妖怪というのはモンスターでもゴーストでもない妖怪は妖怪であるということをちゃんとまず知っておいてほしいなと思います。
So to start with explaining what Yokai Watch is, I think it's important to explain what a yokai is. So first thing I really like everyone to understand is that yokai aren't monsters, yokai aren't ghosts, they are yokai, and that's what they
Yes.
are.
で例えばモンスターだとどちらかというとギャーッと鳴いたりとかっていう鳴き声を発するような動物的なイメージだし、ゴーストって言われるとやっぱりちょっと怖い内面を持ったちょっと人を襲いそうなとかってあるんですけど、妖怪っていうのはどちらでもなくてやっぱり普通の人間と全く同じバックストーリーとか過去とかキャラクター性を持っているっていうところが特徴だと思います。
So I think one characteristic to take into account about yokai is that so when you look at monsters, they're like almost animalistic. They have whether it's like crying or howling, growling, whatever it is, it's like an animal. Whereas if you look at ghosts, it's sort of like you get a scary impression that they'll, I don't know, maybe come and attack you or maybe possess you. But yokai are like humans. They have their own personality, they have their own background, and they have their own reasons of why they are the way they are. So I think that's a really important characteristic and aspect of a yokai.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Excellent.
だから、子供みたいな妖怪もいればおじいちゃんとかそういう妖怪もいたり、あとはちょっと怖い不良みたいな妖怪とか、そういう一人一人、人間に置き換えられるような性格設定になってます。
So you might have yokai that is like an old man, old person, and then you have yokai that's like a little child, a little boy. And then you also have yokai that are a little bit scary. So you can almost replace these yokai with human personalities and traits.
That's very true. I noticed that everyone has a unique personality as well.
So
And it really brings the character out of each single one has a history.
妖怪一人一人にすごい特有の個性とか性格があると見えますね。
そうですね。
Yeah, I really enjoy the art design, the character design is really impressive in this game, and there are over 200 yokai that you can befriend in this game.
200体以上の妖怪がいて、一人一人がすごい面白いデザイン。
That is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
そうですね。
It's a completionist's nightmare / dream. This, and so I wanted to find. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
どうぞ。
世界にもすごくこだわっていて、このなんか子供たちが遊べるオープンワールドの RPG のようなどこにでも行って何をやってもいいっていう 世界観を作りたくて、このゲームはストーリーを進めていくだけじゃなくて、ストーリーを進めるのももちろんいいんですけど、その一つの街をですね、好きなところに行って好きなことをするっていう、それが一つの魅力になってます。
And we spent a lot of time creating the world and map of Yokai Watch as well, because we wanted to create an RPG that's open world where kids can go in and do what they want, go where they want and do what they want. So there's obviously the story that progresses as you move along, but it's not just the story. So as you're progressing in the story, you can decide you want to go do this there or you go do that in another place, and really make the give a lot of freedom and for the kids to play the game.
Have we talked about the watch itself and how it's designed and how it was created?
So the watch is, maybe Mr. Hino could talk a little bit about the yokai wheel that we see at the bottom here for our audience.
じゃあまずこの表示されてます妖怪ウィリーについて少し紹介していただけますでしょうか。
このロールですか。
はい。
これ戦闘をやっぱりこの戦闘でこだわったのはやっぱり妖怪たちが身近にいるっていう感じなんですけど、例えばこのくるくる回すことによって、妖怪たちが存在していて前衛と後衛とっていうようにどっちを前にするかによって戦略が大きく変わったり、あとこう触ってこすったり叩いたりするっていうことで、そこに妖怪がいてなんていうの、その妖怪に触れているっていう感じを出したいということで、こういう触ってバトルするっていうものにしました。
So when this battle scene that you just saw, the wheel, it actually has, you have a control of 6 yokai, and there's the yokai that are standing in front and the yokai that are in the back. But we really wanted to focus on the fact that the yokai are there as part of your daily life. They're always there with you. And so even in the battle sequences that you saw, there's a lot, sometimes you tap, sometimes you rub and scratch the screen. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of interaction with the yokai, and we really wanted to make sure that you're fighting alongside and interacting with the yokai as you're doing battle.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The combat system, for those who may not have seen our segment on this yesterday, is really, it's a whole lot of fun because it's this beautiful controlled chaos. Because while your yokai are on auto attack here, see, I've targeted the Pandal in the middle as well, so I'm focusing all the attacks on there. And you also need to see, I've got one of my guys is inspirited here, so I have to throw him to the back in order to purify him. So I have to do this little mini game on the bottom screen while the characters are still attacking. See, now I have to target, there's a wisp here, I want that. I have to pop that, got some cash there it looks like. And you're also, while all of this is going on, if your yokai get too low on hit points, you're gonna have to feed them. You're gonna have to give them a row rice ball, say, because yokai love row rice balls. And so it's this really while the yokai are in auto attack, you are the ultimate sort of coach there for support there the whole time in order to sort of reinforce how your yokai. The specific yokai that you put on your wheel and in your watch, how they play out.
妖怪も自分で攻撃をするんですが、プレイヤーとしてのコーチというような感じで自分が入れた妖怪に指示を出して戦い方を導くみたいな設定になってるんですね。
It's excellent. So that's one of the things too I was gonna say is I just love watching all the battles. I'm just like sitting here like, wow, this is really exciting.
There's a lot going on in these battles.
I'm learning a lot myself. It's a really interesting
Check it out.
design.
So I get to befriend Pandal here. It's awesome.
妖怪の動きとかもすごくこだわって作ってあるので、一つ一つ。
ごめんなさい、もう一度言って。
妖怪の動きすごくこだわって作ってあるんですよ。
And when we were creating the yokai, we made sure we put a lot of effort into the movement of each yokai so that they portray their personality.
Yeah, I love after each victory. I don't know if anyone saw it yet, but after each victory, they do a little dance. Each one has their own little
勝利の
dance.
踊りみたいな一人一人違うのをやってるんですね。
Do each one have their own unique little?
Yeah. It's pretty
awesome.
sweet. So, and
It's
you saw
awesome.
that little, you saw the yokai medallion there on the bottom screen, and that's where you put the little yokai medals. And so then when you go to either your house or to an IPO, you can swap them in and out of your yokai watch. and that'll mark the 6 that you're carrying around with you at any given time. And depending on the boss battle or like where you're at in the game, you're going to want different yokai. Sometimes you're going to want defensive yokai. You're going to want maybe a healer in there, a couple big brutes. I like speed and charming yokai because I like the bonuses that they give. But I also like to throw in a healer just in case I'm not quick enough to always get the items back into to restore hit points.
So do you have like a standard group then you always go with?
Say again?
So you have like a standard group then you always go with, like a particular...
Especially once you get up to the tougher bosses, there's definitely like, all right, this just having all bruisers is not going to work.
So yeah, okay.
And you
really
really
good
gotta
tactics.
map out your strategy of the yokai that you put into your watch and that you take along with you. So
ちなみにこの妖怪ウォッチと妖怪メダルというのがゲームの中に登場するものが本当に日本ではもうすでに売ってあったりするんですけど、それが非常に売れていて、もう子供たちの中では手に入らないアイテムになっています。
So actually, the yokai medals and the yokai watch that you see in game, they are actually toy versions of that, at least in Japan, that
right.
have been released, and they've actually been very, very popular. A lot of kids weren't able to get it because they're so popular.
Oh, wow.
it's very cool.
All right, another good fight coming here. Are we going to fight a boss, maybe?
Yeah, I think we'll see if we can ambush a boss here after this. Caden's about out. This is good.
I love the ninja design there on Dimmy.
You like Dimmy?
Yeah,
he's
probably my
pretty
favorite one right
awesome.
now. I know there's so many more to see too, though. Okay.
Cool.
So what area are you in? Right? Oh,
this is-
never mind.
So this whole
Keep
town
running.
is Springdale. You're a kid, Nate, or you can play as a girl, Katie, and you're on summer vacation. And nickname Caden's good. I like Caden. And one of the things I like, one of the first things that struck me about this game that I really enjoy is sort of along the same lines of like LBX, of like seeing this world through the eyes of a child. And one of the first things that you encounter as Nate is your parents having an argument that is being caused by a yokai. And so the mission is to go out and collect yokai and defeat this yokai that's causing this sort of domestic dispute. But it's also this beautiful way, honestly, for a child to sort of solve their own conflicts in life. And I thought that was really interesting. One of the first things that I noticed.
最初ゲームをプレイした時に最初の問題というのはお父さんとお母さんが喧嘩してるでそれを解決するために妖怪を探しに行くっていうことなんですけど、やっぱこれを見て本当このゲームを子供の視点から見てただ妖怪を探して解決するんじゃなく、その子供たちにとってもどうやって自分の中の人生の問題を解決していけるかというメッセージも込められているような気がして、すごい素晴らしいなと思いました。
It's a hot spring
こ
new
れ
town.
子供たちの悩みをものすごく研究してですね、リストアップして、でこの一つ一つのクエストやアニメのストーリーを作る上で、その実際にある子供たちの悩みを妖怪のせいということにして、エピソードにしています。なので一つ一つのクエストすごく面白いと思います。
So, each of these, we actually did a lot of research into finding out what's really bothering children, what are they struggling with, what kind of is kind of the hardships they face in their everyday lives. And we listed that up, and we try to address all of those through these chapters, and in the anime through each episode. And just seeing that and really going through the process of trying to figure out how to solve that was a very interesting and enjoyable process.
That's amazing.
Wow, that must have been quite a bit of research actually as well.
そのリサーチもすごく大変だったんでしょうか。
そうですね、もうみんななんていうのかな、こうスタッフの家族とかみんな含めてみんなでその子供たちが悩んでることっていうのを持ち寄ってでリストにしてで一つずつそれをストーリーに落とし込んでいくっていう作業をしました。
Yeah, it was a lot of work. We even involved families of the staff member, and we all gathered together and just try to list up all of the issues that kids go through these days, and then try to address each one of those. It was a lot of work.
Wow, fantastic. Wow. A little mind blown.
You
That's
never
pretty
knew,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
The things you learn on Treehouse Live. This is great. So what I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna go get one of my favorite yokai in action here, Baku. Baku is his specialty is he's a sleep yokai, and what he does is he becomes this doppelganger for you, so that you can go sneak out at night, and he takes your place in bed, so your parents think that you're sleeping. Where's he at? Sleeping. Well, wait. Oh, Baku didn't come out that time. That's all right. It's nighttime, right? And I'm just taking off, Mom.
It's all good.
Okay, all right. So you're sneaking out after hours here now.
Terrible. Terrible example. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go. At this point in the game, you're tasked with finding. This story's hysterical. You're tasked with finding someone's pair of lucky underwear. The watchmaker who upgrades your yokai watch cannot work without his lucky underwear. And so you are tasked with retrieving those from the hot springs that he left them at.
どうぞ。
はい、これ今夜なんであれですけど、例えばこう一つ一つ細かいアクションこだわってやって、家を出るときに靴を脱いだり、ここに入るときも靴をちゃんと脱いだり、あと信号ではちゃんと待たなきゃいけなかったり、もう街のギミック一つ一つすごくこだわって作られているので、非常にこう見てていろんなこうところに小さく入ってるアニメーションとかがあって楽しいと思います。
And we, like I mentioned before, we spent a lot of time creating the world of Yokai Watts. So in the Japanese version, if you go into a house, he actually takes off his shoes. If you go into a cross street, you actually got to press the button, wait for the light to change before you can cross. So even just watching this world, you see all of these little details that are very close and at home with users.
Awesome. It looks like we're about to fight this boss here. Why don't we have a little history on this guy?
I love this character design. This is Sprite, and he is the holder of the lucky undies. And check out this battle scene. It's a dance in the hot springs. I love these two guys in the background. Okay, so. And you know, again, one of the great things is the way that this game really levels up. These boss battles are no joke.
Oh, that's right. I remember this boss battle. We got this. Totally got this.
You see, I'm targeting his weak spot there. All right, got it. Okay. I also need the HP up here. Who needs it? Let's get Boo's got low defense, so I know I need to keep him fed. And so what I'm doing here is the ultimate move. I'm unleashing each yokai has their special move.
Oh. Each one has their own particular name, it looks like, on it as well.
このボスの攻略は頭をまずね攻撃して頭をガードしたときにへそがむき出しになるのでそこにピンを立てて倒すっていうやり方です。
So in this boss battle, you actually have to use the targeting system a lot. You have to focus on attacking his head first, and after a certain while, he's going to start protecting his head, and that's when he reveals his real weak point, which is his belly button. And then you have to move the target pin back to the belly button to do some effective damage.
でボス一つ一つ他のボスも含めて攻略法があってただこう強くなったら倒せるというわけではなくその攻略を探すっていうのも楽しみの一つになってます。
And so not only this boss battle, but each boss battle, there's a certain kind of strategy and way to approach it. So you can't just kind of power your way through, just level up and power your way through. There's
最初
always a challenge.
へそをむき出しにするまでは頭を狙わないといけないです。
Yeah, so you gotta focus on the head until he reveals his weak point.
That's really cool.
Bring it up.
So you can see it right there. Come on, Eddie, you got this.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. All right. Let's kick to the back. Let's get some Takeda in there.
You got 5 left. You good?
All right.
You
We
good?
also need some on Demi too. There's also a cooldown. I can't just feed them constantly. Okay, here's my bonus. All the
今へ
yokai.
そですね。
Now's the time.
Oh,
Stomach. The stomach.
all right. I gotta target that though. I gotta stick a pin in it. Here comes the boo-hoo blast.
Oh, that did really good
There we go.
damage.
So I don't know if we're gonna have time to get through this entire battle, unfortunately. But Mr. Hino, I really wanted to thank you for joining
Absolutely.
us. This is really an honor for us to be here. We love your games.
お時間ありがとうございました。ゲームすべて素晴らしいです。楽しんでます。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you know what? That about wraps up our day. Day 2 at E3 Treehouse Live. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a big day. We had a lot going on, and we're coming back tomorrow, 9:55. We're starting right back up here for day 3. So please join us then. Demetrius, Ray, Mr. Hino, thank you once again.
本当にありがとう
Good
ござい
night.
ました。
Thank you. See you.
はい